Wow, wow. Well, listen, I'm so excited for you that you've got to the fourth module in this customer service certification program. This is unique. This is exciting. This is amazing. It's amazing because I know, based on your feedback, based on the feedback we get from all over the world, the Caribbean, Africa, Europe, Canada, all over, of how our corporate programs are transforming, not just the organization, but transforming lives. Right? If I had time, I'll read some of the feedback, but I urge you to go to the website and read the rave reviews we're getting. So I do know this is of value to you and your organization. In this module number 4, I want to share, the characteristics of an exceptional customer service representative, right? In the introduction, I talked about when I asked organizations, I said, what are the qualifications for those that do customer service in the organization? I say, oh, well, we love them to have at least a bachelor's degree. And I'm like, a bachelor's degree does not guarantee customer service. Bachelor's degree does not guarantee customer service. I have a model I call, the 5 stages of personal development. Stage number 1 is upbringing. Stage number 2 is education. Stage number 3 is training. Stage number 4 is coaching. Stage number 5 is mentoring. For you to deliver an exceptional customer service, those 5 stages must be assessed in your life to see where there's a gap. So if all you have is a bachelor's degree in business administration, you've never been trained in customer service, then your organization should not expect. Of course, there are people who haven't been trained and they're excelling in it. I wasn't trained when I had this customer service job decades ago. I was not trained, but I was the best out of 200 and something reps they had in that organization, the very best for. In fact, one of the years they had to beg me and say, Alex, can we not give you the award this year? You've had it for so many years. Let's at least, skip you and pass it to the next person. I said, go ahead, right? How come clients will call and if you're on vacation, they want to talk to nobody, right? So, and they were seeing a lot more of that. We're supposed to take 13 calls. I was taking 19 calls. Our quality was supposed to be 85%. Mine was 95%. So not only was I taking more calls, my quality rating was higher, right? So and here are some of the examples I saw in that center and that I've experienced in life. And that, there's a company right now, a phone company right here in Canada. Everybody hates them. I'm using the word H-A-T-E. Hate is a big word. Like I've been in weddings and we're sitting on the table and there's you're asking people, where do you work and what do you do? One of them, when she mentioned that company that she works for, that, like literally everybody on that table wanted to pounce on her. It's like, yeah, I know our service is bad. I'm like, how could you still be working there? That company the name triggers hate in people because they have a monopoly in the telecommunication industry, but their service is porous, I must add. So some of the examples you see, like I used to have this was years ago and they still do it. I used to have a fine lady working beside me and she'd just be filing the nail while she's talking to the to the customer. And not only that is impacting what the conversation. She's not listening. She can't be listening and doing this at the same time. One is not even professional, right? So if it was hard for me to literally condense the characteristics of a customer service rep. Some will sit and their feet is on the table as if they are, even in your living room or bedroom, you don't do that. Like literally, like your posture impacts your communication. Come on, I'm gonna get tough on you in this particular module. Your posture, your outfit, the way you dress. Somebody told me the other day, say, Alex, whenever I see you, I always wear dress. Someone's like, I said, but it's part of my brand. Go and take my course on branding. A course on branding, by the way, I recommend it for everybody. If you're listening to this, everybody on this planet should take a course on branding. So you understand that how you speak, how you look, how you talk, where you go, who you hang out with, and all these things affect your brand, your communication, your lifestyle, your fulfillment, your relationship, and every other thing. So this was a tough one to do because I came up with characteristics like humble, compassionate, passionate, kind, empathetic, analytical, open, determined, right? And all those are characteristics of an exceptional sales rep. It's also characteristics of an exceptional leader. It's also characteristics of an exceptional salesman is also characteristics of a great parent, of a great person. So, what are the characteristics of an exceptional sales rep, an exceptional customer service rep? People ask. I say, like, how many do you want? 100? 75? 21? 12? 7? So here's what we've done. We've packaged them into 5 summaries, right? So under each one, under each point, a couple of traits fall under them. So here are the 5 characteristics of an exceptional sales rep. Number 1 is personnel intelligence. I talk a lot about this in the sales and marketing certification program, personnel intelligence. That means you need to be self-aware. You need to have discovered yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your potential and threats. You need to know your likes and dislikes. You need to know what triggers you and people. You need to have a form of psychological knowledge. You need to understand how psychology works. You need to understand psychology. Remember, this certification program is Customer Service Certification Program, the psychology of an exceptional service experience. The psychology. I have a book that is coming out soon. It's called The Leadership Psychology. It's Psychology of Leadership, right? I talk a lot about psychology. Psychology is critical. So you must be aware of how people think, right? So I meet people and they just complain. They complain of their clients. They complain of their employees. That means your level of awareness is low. Your level of awareness is low. You have to understand. You have to, and this is where, things like empathy falls into things like this, right? Listening falls into things like this. So number 1 is personnel intelligence, just simply understanding humanity, simply understanding psychology, simply understanding yourself, right? Put yourself at the end of the call, or the other end of the call. Put yourself in the place of your customer. Try to experience the pain they must be going through. This is what you call irate, right? In years ago, I used to be the champion for irate customer. They'll call. I don't understand. I'm calling because, you guys have charged me again. You've charged I've called before and they just go. And you can see people, sometimes people just say, hello, I can't hear you. Click and they cut the phone. I told you, man, this is a tough one. This particular module is a tough one. So I just for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to the second one, but I want you to understand that personnel intelligence is something you have to study. No school can teach you that per se, but you have to learn more about yourself to understand another, right? You don't complain about your clients. You don't blame them. You don't make any excuses. Just those 3 alone will enhance your customer service experience or delivery of a customer service. Number 2 is emotional intelligence. How dare you get angry at your client? How dare? You could be angered. Of course you can be angered. We're human. But to deposit that anger or to unleash the anger on your client is unacceptable. Completely. It's devastating. It's a no-no. You don't do that. So emotional intelligence is high. After personnel intelligence, emotional intelligence, you have to be able to manage your emotions, right? So I used to diffuse irate situation in that center. Like I've talked now. Of course, that was decades ago. Now I travel around the world, teaching people how to do that. Leaders need to learn emotional intelligence, and more so customer service rep, because in the course of a day, you are going to have people insult you. Oh, let me give you an example. I remember some of the situations that I was able to handle with regards to emotional intelligence way back. I remember this customer call. I still remember as if it was yesterday, and this is almost 30 years ago. I remember the customer called and he says, and I introduced myself, and he goes, "Can I speak to somebody with English? Somebody who can speak English?" I'm thinking, actually, I'm speaking English. He said, "I mean English without an accent." Ooh. What do? You freak out? To me, I thrive in situations like that, right? Like, what have they not called me? I've had people use the N word for me on the phone and they don't even see me. Right? I've had people use the F word. So you are going to experience this. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's bring it out. Let's not pretend as if our customers are angels. Our customers, in some cases, they are far from being angels. But that does not give you the right to be angry or to express anger towards them. It does not give you the right to complain about them. You entered into an obligation and a contractual agreement with them. You sold them a product or a service. And remember, define it again. The definition of customer service is the least basic form of expression of appreciation and support for those who have put their trust in you, right? So you need listen, you can take a course. We have a course on emotional intelligence. I recommend you taking a course, right? If you're a CEO, ensure your employees get this. Both leaders, sales, everybody should be trained on emotional intelligence. The third one is business intelligence. Business intelligence is the third one. What's business intelligence? Is the ability to maximize, M-I-N-E, and maximize data to make well-informed decisions. For you to be able, so in my days when I used to, I've called 10 times and I did this and I did that and nothing's happening. I'm tired. You guys are crazy banks. You are thieves. You steal all our money. And I'm making notes. And then I pull reports. Has this customer actually called 100 times like he said? No. The stats, the computer proved and says they've only called 5 times. Okay. It doesn't mean they're a liar or anything. They were angry, so they need to go have a course. The customer should also have a course on emotional intelligence, I understand, right? So did we actually charge them? I pull a report. We should charge them 10%, we charge them 15%. This is our business intelligence. How many times do customer call? I remember actually initiating a business intelligence project in the call center. It wasn't even part of my job. That actually were able to determine the cost per call in the call center. Then it was $13. And we're able to say how many calls do we get in a month. I think it was about 7,000 calls. By the time you add them, we're able to put a value to the calls we get. And the cost was $13 an hour. So here you are. When you now start taking the salary of people, the overhead, we're able to do a project that saved our company millions of dollars. And what we did was some of the calls we were getting, we moved them into what they call the interactive voice response system, which is if people are calling for basic information, the computer can answer that question. So that's different from this. But what am I saying? Business intelligence is powerful, is vast, is robust. Business intelligence is critical. Right? So another project we worked on in one of the big organizations was to put on a system that when a customer calls, the system picks the customer's phone number, goes into a database, pulls out their whole profile. So when you're talking to them, you know where they are, where they live, what they do, what services they have with you, everything. And even the services they don't have with you that you can sell them. But remember, a service call should never become a sales call. Write that down. A service call should never become a sales call. It should remain a service call. Perhaps when you now go to the other module, I'll be talking about beyond service. Then when you call for feedback and they are satisfied, then you have the right or the opportunity to ask for more sales or upsell or whatnot. So let's move to the fourth one. The fourth one is competitive intelligence. Competitive intelligence. You have to understand what your competitors are offering. Remember, your client is with you for a couple of reasons. One, price. Maybe your price is right. Two, it could be because of service. Three, it could be because of quality. So a customer who is looking for price, you have to, this is all competitive intelligence. What your competitor, what is their strategy? Is their strategy on quality, on price? On what? On innovation, right? So you have to understand all that so that when you are dealing with your client, your response is robust, is aware, is well-informed, your decisions are well-informed. You are able to speak with intelligence, not just personnel intelligence, but emotional intelligence, and now business intelligence, and now competitive intelligence. So competitive intelligence is something you can study. It's actually part of our sales and marketing program as well. It's a very powerful tool. Competitive intelligence, oh my God. It's helped us to be where we are actually, right? So we keep an eye on other organizations doing online training. We keep an eye on their product. I take courses online. I learn from it sometimes, but more so to learn how it's done. That's competitive intelligence. It's not spying. I paid like any other body, and I went through the program. And some of you watching this right now, perhaps is what you're doing. You want to experience Alexi Ama's School of Greatness program so you can develop yours, and that's okay. That's okay, right? Content is always original. Process is, is universal, right? So that's number 4. We are still on the characteristics of an exceptional service representative, right? In the beginning, I talked about how hard it was to bring 75 or 100 characteristics down to just 5 categories. So these are categories, right? The 5th one is spiritual intelligence, right? Most organizations will talk about this because they confuse spirituality for religiosity. I'm not talking about you need to take your customer to church. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you loving your customer as you want to be loved, treating your customer as you want to be treated. You have to recognize that your customer have a body, a soul, and a spirit. You have to understand spiritual things to be able to give an exceptional customer service. If you look at your, I had this friend who told me he does customer service. He's been doing that for ages, and he told me, he says the day it changed for him was one day he got a call he's an investor, this financial investment. So he got a call from a woman who, didn't know what she was talking about, but was talking about money. And in his mind, he's like, well, okay, she doesn't even speak good English. She's speaking slowly. She's getting me tired. She's boring. And he was listing all this while the woman was talking. But until he now asked, oh, sorry, can I just have your account number so I can pull up your profile and see? And he said when he saw how much was in the woman's account, that day he make a decision that he will never judge a car by any other thing other than by just the person. You don't speak English well, you don't speak fast enough, you don't speak slow enough, whatever that case is, doesn't matter. Because that woman had enough millions to invest in his company that literally changed the trajectory of his financial status. So he's like, wow. And I told him, I'm using that to help you understand that for you to get to that point, that is spiritual intelligence. Judge no one, certainly not your clients. They may judge you. Your clients, in some cases, when they're angry, they already judge you. You take my money, you guys are crooks, that's okay. But you don't judge them. To not judge is spiritual. To judge is human. So when we talk of spirituality, the law of spirituality, come on somebody. I talked about this in my book, The Mystique of Leadership. And I teach this to executive, right? There are 7 organic laws of exceptional leadership. They're in my book, The Mystique of Leadership. But one of them is the law of spirituality. And that applies here. Your clients, they have a soul. They have a spirit. They may not be able to see you over the phone or over the email, but they feel you in spirit. They may not even know that that's what's going on, but they do. So when you have an opportunity to provide service, connect with them in spirit. Thanks for taking this module. Go ahead now and do your quizzes, and I'll see you in module 5.